You are confident. You know you have the skills. You know you have the experience. And then you say something in the interview and you can feel the energy shift and not in a good way. This happens all the time to professionals. They think what they are saying is absolutely reasonable, but the recruiter or hiring manager is actually hearing something else. So today I'm going to talk about things you shouldn't say in an interview and what to say instead. Hi, I'm Shelley Piedmont, a former recruiter turned career coach, and I want you to thrive and not just survive your job. Let's start by talking about the one that's probably most common and trips people up. And that is saying, I am looking for better work-life balance. Now, I get why you say it. You're working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You don't want to work on the weekends. You don't want to be answering emails after the kids go to bed. But that's the situation you're finding yourself in, and you're looking for a place that's just not as stressful. I get it. And there's nothing wrong with wanting that, but I'm just going to tell you, don't say it out loud. So here is what the recruiter or hiring manager is hearing when you say that. I don't want to necessarily work in the evenings, even if it's needed. I'm going to be leaving the office at 5 p.m. before everyone else. Or I'm going to push back on projects that I don't think is the best use of my time. Recruiters and hiring managers are looking for people that are less risky to hire. Most don't want to hire the highest risk people. They want to hire the lowest risk people. When you start talking about work-life balance, what they're hearing is this person may push back or they may not be available when I need them. And that could be a problem for me as I need to get things done. Now, you should always ask about what is reasonable in the job. What are the requirements? What's the expectations? That can give you a good sense of what that work-life balance will be. But I would really caution you about saying this out loud. Instead, how I would answer is talking about what they need in the job, the knowledge, skills, expertise, and how this opportunity will be able to allow you, because you have aligned knowledge, skills, and expertise, to help them to reach their goals. Make sure what you're answering is forward-looking, what you can help them do, as opposed to what you need. Because at the end of the day, they don't really care. They only care about what they need. Another statement you should not be making is, I have been doing this for X years, whatever X is, and I know how to handle it. Now, you might be thinking, well, I'm just being confident, and I do know how to handle it because I have had all this experience. So I'm just helping them understand that I'm the person who can get things done. Now, you think that's what you're saying. But what they're hearing is, I'm not coachable. I have a way to do it, and I'm going to do it that way. And they will be afraid that you will be one of those people that comes in and said, well, we've always done it this way. You know those people, and people don't like them. So instead, to calm their fears that you are coachable, that you are going to listen and be helpful instead of just being a bulldozer, you should say something like this. Well, I have been doing something similar for many, many years, but I do understand that each organization has their own nuance and how they want to do things. And what I would love to do is know how you do that so I can understand and hopefully contribute to making whatever it is a success. This shows you are confident, but also that you are determined to help them get the results that they want in the way that they want it. If you like this content, I always appreciate hitting that like button and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It really helps. Another statement you should not make is, my previous organization's processes were wrong. Now, This is similar to saying bad things about a previous boss. Now, you might think, well, this shows my analytical skills and my abilities to, figure out problems. But instead, what your interviewer is hearing is, they're bad mouthing their organization. Are they going to do that for us? And does this mean that they can't get along with leadership because they're saying that they were wrong and this person was right? So, what you want to do instead is show you are a team player and that you want to contribute. So, you might say something like this: I have seen many different approaches of how to handle this situation, and I have some ideas that I think would be helpful in terms of how you handle whatever this is. I'd be interested to learn how you all do it, and I would very much love to contribute my expertise, my knowledge, my skills to help you, where you can talk about your knowledge, expertise, and skills. When you do this, you've shown you've learned from your previous experience, but you're not going to be throwing anyone under the bus. Another statement you don't want to make in an interview is, I don't have experience with X, whatever it is they're talking about, but I'm a quick learner. Why you don't want to say this is because you don't know how quickly they need to get you up to speed, and you start putting doubt in their minds. Well, maybe you're not a senior, especially if you're a mid-career professional or senior leader, as you're coming across. And do you need additional training? So again, making you more risky. So what you want to do when answering this question is relate your experience to something that is similar to what they're talking about. So you can say, well, I can tell you that I have worked with X for many years, and it is very similar to what you've been doing here with Y. Because the foundations are the same, I understand that, and I would just need to understand how you've configured this software or how your process works specifically. That way you can acknowledge the gap. Don't say that you have experience that you don't have, but you can allay their fears that you won't be able to get up to speed quickly. You understand the concepts, you understand the process. You just need to know the particulars associated with this organization. Another statement you should make, because people might hear it differently than you mean, is saying, I have been out of work for however months, could be a year, and because I am being selective. And you're thinking, well, if I say that, they'll know that, I am trying to find the right fit, that's really important, where I can contribute. That should be a good thing. But here's what your recruitment team might hear. I'm being very picky. I don't know what I want. Or there must be something wrong with me because other organizations haven't hired me. Again, you're putting doubt into the minds of that recruitment team, something you don't want to do in an interview. So what you should say instead is something like this. It's very important to me that my knowledge, skills, and experience align with the organization so that I can really contribute to meeting the goals. I really enjoy this company. I feel like it's a good fit. And that's what would be important for me to be able to accept an offer. When you say it like that, it reframes it so that you are intentional and strategic, but not that you have been having a series of rejections. In an interview, it's important that you show your emotional intelligence, your adaptability, and that you provide value to that organization. Doesn't matter if you're entry level, mid-level, senior level. The statements that I've been going over help to undermine that expectation. Now, it's not that you need to lie in an interview. I'm not going to tell anybody you should lie. But what I will say is you don't have to tell everything about your decision making. You can selectively talk about the things that are going to impress your interviewers and not talk about the things that you know might be problematic. Now you know how to reframe your answers so that you can show your value, to show that you're really interested in fit without undermining yourself. If you're interested in interview prep, go ahead and look in the details section. I have information about my interview prep service and how I can help you.